For the odd 10 minutes that South Korea's president spoke in the Oval Office, he had one job: flatter the host, Donald Trump. A strategy that world leaders have learned very well. Praise him and you might just walk out with a deal. And the words finally paid off. Trump gave Lee Jae-myung a promise and us a headline. Trump is hoping to meet North Korea's leader, Kim Jong Un, this year.
Because I have a great relationship with Kim Jong Un. I hope it stays that way. I think it will.
I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula.
The announcement revives those iconic images from 2019, but geopolitics has moved on. The showpiece meeting did not age as well as the photographs. The nuclear issue lingers, the alliances have shifted, and the stage is far more crowded. So here's our three big questions. Will Kim agree to meet Trump? Will Russia and China be present in the room? And can permanent peace come to the Korean Peninsula? I'm Ananya Datta. This is Grey Zone. It was a moment made for the history books and, of course, the cameras. June 30th, 2019, the world watched as Donald Trump stepped across a low slab of concrete at the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ as it's called. Just one step, but it carried decades of history. He became the first sitting US president to set foot in North Korea, greeted on the other side by Kim Jong Un, the dictator whose handshake Trump described as quote-unquote very strong. The two leaders smiled, posed, and walked side by side in a place that had long symbolized division. For a brief moment, the Cold War's last frontier felt more like a photo op than a flashpoint. It was reality TV, but geopolitics edition.
Remember when I walked across the line and everyone went crazy? Especially Secret Service, I would say it was. And I looked into those windows, you know, the windows, the glass, that you could only see if you looked direct, because there was all sorts of stuff. But I looked in and I saw more rifles pointing at me than you could. There were a lot of rifles in that building. The Secret Service was not happy. You know the buildings I'm talking about? The two blue buildings on each side. And I walked up the middle and I looked in the window and I saw more guns in that room than I've ever seen in my life. I looked at the other side and it was the same thing. And yet I felt safe.
Now Trump says he wants a sequel, another meeting with Kim, but a lot has changed in the last 5 years. Yet the optimism hasn't waned.
Because I have a great relationship with Kim Jong Un. I hope it stays that way. I think it will. I have a very good relationship. I understand him. I spent a lot of free time with him talking about.
Let's talk about the most obvious dynamic here, the South-North hostility in the Korean Peninsula. South Korea has been in its own political mess for the last few months. Former President Yoon Suk-yeol is sitting behind bars after he tried to impose martial law last year. An unexpected snap election 2 months ago brought Lee to power. He is trying a different approach to diffuse tensions with his neighbors. He has stopped all balloons and loudspeakers that were used to spread anti-Pyongyang propaganda and extended a hand of diplomacy.
While exercising deterrence against North Korea with solid national defense capabilities, I am convinced that winning without fighting is better than winning through fighting. I will seek a path of coexistence and co-prosperity through dialogue, communication, coexistence, and mutual cooperation between North and South Korea.
But while he did speak of peace, the war drills with the US have also continued, awfully close to North Korea. And this kind of hypocrisy has not been received well by Pyongyang. And this time, Kim's sister and confidant is leading the narrative. She recently said, and I'm quoting, "At this very moment, reckless US-South Korea invasion war drills that directly threaten the security of our country are being staged. Yet the Lee Jae-myung regime is parroting the same old refrain of its predecessors, calling them defensive exercises. This vividly reflects a dual personality of the authorities in Seoul. So the situation clearly has drastically gotten worse, and Kim Jong Un has gotten confidence from his two dearest friends. One is an old, trusted friend, Russia. Relations with Moscow are quite diverse. Primary is defense. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has pushed Moscow closer to Pyongyang. Kim has made $5.5 billion from selling arms to Russia since 2023 and is projected to earn $572 million every single year from its mercenaries. Moscow is breaking international sanctions by buying arms from Pyongyang and hiring North Korean soldiers and laborers. And in return, North Korea seeks satellite, ballistic missile tech, oil and food aid. Last year, Russian President Vladimir Putin visited Pyongyang, the first Russian leader to do so in 24 long years, and signed a defense pact, pledging that if either country were attacked, the other would provide military assistance. Very NATO-like deal. There is growing fear that Moscow could give Pyongyang the technology needed to develop its nuclear weapons program. The second friend is China. Beijing accounts for over 98% of North Korea's foreign trade. Bilateral trade accounted for $2.7 billion in 2023. Now, these include textile, seafood, minerals, and labor services. In return, given North Korea repeatedly faces severe droughts and flooding, Beijing provides food and energy assistance. While not as expansive as Russia, China is growing its defense commitments to North Korea. China has made clear in the past that it would protect North Korea if the US or South Korea attacked first. So now the big question is, with the ongoing geopolitical mess, can Trump act like the perfect bridge? The US president has met North Korea's Kim 3 times, and all during his first term. And all times, Trump was much more optimistic than reality. They gave us pictures, handshakes, and headlines, but not peace. As the nuclear stalemate continued, there was a lull in talks for about 6 years. In these 6 years, North Korea has developed more sophisticated missiles and delivery systems, and South Korea has gone through a political upheaval. So now everything rests on Trump, a man who prides himself as a deal maker, may be stepping into his toughest negotiation yet. The cameras are ready, the stage is set. The question is, where is Kim Jong Un? Thank you for watching Grey Zone. I'm Ananya Datta.